greetings to you depending on your time zone. Today I have a special guest with me in studio who will get to introduce himself. Then I'll let you guys know what we are up to. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Romeo. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's my pleasure too. So could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Miles and I've been living here in Thailand for 4 years. I'm a colleague of Romeo's and yeah, let's dive into it. Let's get started.
Yeah, sure. 4 years in foreign land must be a very long time.
Yeah, time flies here though, yeah.
Sure, that is it. So originally, where do you come from?
I come from England, a city called Birmingham.
Oh wow.
So it's in central England.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a cool city, a lot to do.
Yeah, sure. England is a very awesome country because I remember from our history in Kenya, we were colonized by the British. So you happen to be our colonial masters. So I have a few questions for you. In terms of you staying in Thailand and marriage life, a lot of my friends have been asking me questions, Yeah, I'm a foreign guy out here. I want to move to Thailand and get married to a Thai lady that I've been dating for a very long time. But some of them are afraid and they have no idea on how to go about this. So I'm aware you got married. For how long now have you been married to your Thai woman?
I've been married now for... She's going to be very annoyed at me, but
yeah.
Let me try and remember. About 1 year, 6 months. Coming on to about 2 years, yes.
Yeah, in terms of love.
I hope she doesn't see this.
No, there's no problem with that. So 1 year and some 6 months. So can you take me through the steps? What are some of the documents that you need as a foreigner to get married to a Thai lady?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually the process was pretty simple. I thought that it would be a lot more difficult,
yeah.
but I found a lot of useful information on the web on what steps I should take.
Yeah.
Originally, it's just a passport and, obviously an existing visa for Thailand. So you need to have a visa and, preferably be in Thailand if you want to go an easy way. I think, yes, you have to be in Thailand. Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, correct me, I might be wrong there, but myself, in my situation, I was here in Thailand. So originally, I had to go to the British Embassy in Bangkok, and I had to get an affirmation document stamped, just to confirm that I'm not married in any other country, and I don't have, multiple wives.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I had to get that stamp, and that was a pretty expensive stamp. That was 3,000 baht, which is, it's about $70 US, about $80.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That stuff.
So after you received your affirmation letter from the embassy, what was the next step? Did you travel down to the province and started your process, or you got some agency somewhere that took you through the process?
Well, there was 2 choices. For me personally, I went and did it independently, alone. I had my wife supporting me. She speaks Thai, so it was a lot easier. But agency did come to mind, but it was more expensive. And I know that hiring an agency, don't be scared from hiring an agency. They can deal with all your documents very quickly. So it's probably a better route for some people. But for me personally, I got my stamp, British Embassy, and then straight away you have to get that letter translated.
Translation.
Yes. That costs about 500 baht, so about $15 US. And once you've got that translation and your passport translated, so you have to get the letter translated from the embassy to Thai, and you have to translate your passport to Thai. Once that's complete, you and your lovely lady can go to the local province, the guy that
the provincial office.
That's the provincial office.
Yeah.
And then you hand over the documents and you wait for your marriage to be approved.
Okay. So basically, you had your sworn affidavit, that is the confirmation letter from your embassy, your passport, meaning your identification document together with your visa, having worked in Thailand. So I'm aware that you have a job in Thailand. Did they need anything from your place of work, like your contract, work permit, or such a sort of thing?
Yes, they did. I believe so. The provincial office asked for my place of employment.
Yes.
But they actually didn't ask for much detail. They just asked for where is your employment. That was it.
Yeah. Oh, it was verbal, nothing written.
Nothing written from my employment, just my word.
Okay, just your word. Then now here you are down at your province. You made your application or presented your case. How long did it take you like to be called in for your wedding?
Called in for the wedding, I believe it was about 4 days, 4 to 5 days.
4 to 5 days.
Very quickly, yes.
So here you are with your lovely bird, all like you reap. So you went in for your wedding. Did you do it like in a traditional way, Thai traditional way, or maybe in a modern Christian way?
Actually, we didn't, and the reason why,
Yeah.
me and my wife were waiting until we had a baby,
Yeah.
until we had, like the official ceremony,
Yeah.
Thai style, and maybe one day if she comes to England,
Yeah.
we can do it, Christian traditional British style. But as it stands, it was just a very quick thing that was done at the government office.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you
We had a party.
Oh, right. Enough for party.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So, what are some of the differences that you are able to note between like the way things are done in England, or the way weddings are conducted, and the way they are conducted here in Thailand? Was there like any difference in terms of the procedure, maybe the ceremony?
Well, I've never been married in England, so
I don't know. Maybe from
no,
friends and
but
family.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's pretty much the same, but
Yeah.
don't shoot the messenger. I don't know, guys. I only know Thailand. So.
Oh, all right. Now, after you were done with your wedding and there you had your ceremony, did you receive like your wedding or marriage certificate instantly, or it's another process where you have to wait for some time?
That took about 4 to 5 days.
4 to 5 days.
So that came soon as the marriage was confirmed,
Yeah.
and they gave us a wedding certificate,
Yeah.
obviously in Thai.
Yeah.
So if you want to read the fine details in your marriage certificate, I suggest getting a translator. But for me, it's just in Thai.
Oh, so your marriage certificate is in
Yes.
Thai language.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man. So okay, that is nice. I'm so fascinated to get to hear all that in the process, because a lot of people get worried about this issue. Others have a lot of fear here and there. So what are your plans for the future? Do you see yourself staying in Thailand forever, or you're gonna move out back to England with your wife someday?
I think my future plan is to be
Yeah.
a family man.
Yeah.
Maybe have 1, 2, 3 children.
Yeah.
And maybe, in the future, maybe move back to England. But
Yeah.
the life is so sweet in Thailand that I think maybe, who knows what the future holds. My wife, she's very comfortable being in Thailand.
Yeah.
Maybe we just go to England for, vacation, holiday.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. All I know is, we want to create a family
Yeah.
and go from there.
So here is Miles, a guy from England who used to be single, alone, going out for the parties, hanging out with friends, and now you're a married man. Has that changed your lifestyle in any way, or everything remains the same, just like you were single?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
It's changed my lifestyle massively.
Yeah.
Before, I would go out, see many friends, be very social.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still quite social, but let's say bedtime's a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And, I have, my wife's pregnant,
Yeah.
so I'm having to take care of her. We have, pet animals, pet cats.
Yeah.
So my life's changed a ton, yes.
Alright. So did it bring you happiness, like in a scale of 1 to 10? What could you give it?
10.
10.
10. I think it's very fulfilling and incredibly, I have something to strive for now. I have
Yeah.
goals for the future. I want to be a
Yeah.
great father. I want to be a great husband. But at the same time,
Yeah.
life, at times you're not as adventurous.
Yeah.
You can't just you know, you have commitments now. Before I could say, right, this weekend I'm going to go to the beach and I'm going to do what I want. But now, you know, obviously I have responsibilities as such.
That is good, man. I wish you a good future. And on the other side, what about this plan of you getting to plan to come and work in Thailand, finally getting a girlfriend and settling down? Is it a dream that you had since you were a young man, or it was just maybe friends influence from your friends, family, or somebody who was working in Thailand who enticed you to come over?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Originally, I saw, you know, the social media posts from
Yeah.
friends that travel Thailand,
Yeah.
and I thought, whoa, I've got to get me some of that. You know, I've got to come out to Thailand
Yeah.
and enjoy the beaches, enjoy the culture,
Yeah.
and of course, you know, the women are very beautiful.
Yeah.
So originally, I came here just, you know, to travel and just have a great time.
Yeah.
And then I went back to England, and
Yeah.
I thought, wow, you know, this city office life, going to work 9 till 5, you
Yeah.
come home, it's cold, it's dark. I thought, no, I need to go back to Thailand. So I booked a one-way flight to Thailand. Yeah.
Meaning you had no plans of going back.
Yeah, it's wild. And then,
Wow, yeah.
and then I just got a job in Bangkok, stayed there for 2 years nearly
Yeah.
2, it was coming on 2 years. And then I met a lovely, lovely lady
Yeah.
and decided, you know, wow, she's, well, originally I didn't think, oh, I'm going to get married, but I think, you know, in time when you bond with someone,
Yeah.
it just feels right, you know. I had no plans on becoming a married man so young, at 27, but I guess life is filled with mysteries, you know.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. So away from teaching, how do you usually spend your free time, like apart from being with your lovely lady and taking care of your expectant woman? What are some of the activities that you do out there to keep yourself busy and maybe engaged or happy?
To keep myself motivated, obviously
Yeah.
we play football sometimes,
Yeah.
go to the gym, practice
Yeah.
on the guitar, learn, you know, read books about history sometimes. But I have to admit, I play a lot of FIFA
Oh.
football on PlayStation, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time on my PlayStation.
No, it's a way. It's a way to keep yourself busy and engaged, which is healthy because each and every one of us has different hobbies and what they really treasure or like in their lives. So you talked something about teaching in Bangkok. How was the experience like having stepped into a Thai? What was it? Was it a school or the coaching center or a tutorial sort of thing or an online job?
My first role was
Yeah.
a coaching center, like a language center,
Yeah.
and it was really, I kind of dived into the deep end
Yeah.
because it was teaching kids that were, you know, very young, kindergarten,
Yeah.
all up until, you know, coaching, you know, business employees, adults, IELTS training. So it was a real, I did dive into the deep end, like I said, it was, you know, teaching young children and
Yeah.
also, you know, coaching business English.
Yeah.
So that gave me a wide range of experience, I think. I only did that for 1 year,
Yeah.
and then I moved on and found a new school in Bangkok,
Yeah.
and I was teaching P1 to P6 there.
Yeah.
And then from there, I did some work for, well, we call it Oyo in Thailand, it's
Yeah.
Thai FDA. So I
Okay.
worked there for 4 months, doing like a 4-month contract.
Yeah.
That was teaching business English. And from there, I ended up here with you guys.
Oh,
And
wow,
it's
that's
the best place I've worked. This place,
Yeah.
100% is definitely the most enjoyable, and I've learned the most from this job.
So having worked with the young ones all through the business people or maybe the elderly, I don't know how
Yeah.
to even call them. So did you find it enjoyable maybe working with the young ones or like a little bit mature people or teenagers? What was your best group?
Personally, I prefer Matthew. I prefer
Oh, high
Matthew.
school
High school, I'd say
students. Why?
you know, 12-year-olds up until 18.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I find that, especially the young students, 12,
Yeah.
13, they're filled with motivation. You know,
Yeah.
they've come into high school, they're excited, they're learning English, and you know, they're making new friends. And I just feel like they've got a lot of drive. And then I feel like high school students, like the Matthium 5, Matthium 6,
Yeah.
you know, some students really push themselves, they go to university.
Yeah.
So I feel like in high school you see a motivation that you don't see in obviously kindergarten, primary
Yeah.
school, or business English. I feel like a lot of high school students, especially at our school,
Yeah.
I feel like they really do strive to be the best.
And as we all know, life is not like a roller coaster where we get to enjoy everything forever. So what have been some of your challenges working and staying in Thailand?
Challenges. I would say I miss English food.
Yeah.
I miss the. I'd say I miss just the daily culture of English life. You know, you walk into a pub and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know.
Yeah.
That's changed, and also I miss my family dearly. You know,
Sure.
obviously the whole COVID situation. It's been 2 years since I've seen my family,
Yeah.
so that's definitely a challenge. And also I think the heat.
Yeah.
The heat. It's so damn hot here.
Yeah, it can be extremely hot sometimes.
How about you, Romeo? What do you find challenging about living in Thailand?
Living in Thailand has, what I can say, there are a lot of challenges involved. Personally, I find it very difficult dealing with spicy food. I grew up taking just normal food without like spices, but the amount of chili in Thai food is a lot.
Yeah.
So whenever I get to eat or maybe enjoy my meal, then afterwards I really have a bad stomachache. So it's one of my greatest challenges. But in terms of high temperatures, I don't have a big problem because before I used to work in Sudan and Qatar, so those are countries with like very extreme temperatures compared to Thailand. So it's not like a big deal to me. I can even do a jacket on a hot day. So maybe I got used to it or something of that sort. But also it has got its own good sides, like getting to meet new friends out there, like whenever we go out to play football, you know, new experience working in a multicultural environment like our school, meeting teachers and other people from different countries to share the culture and all that. Then also, at first, I used to think Thai students maybe were a little bit stubborn, but later, after you get used to each other, you get to realize they're so kind and lovely. So it's like a family now, you know.
Right.
If you ask me, I prefer to be in Thailand more than home, although I do miss my family too, but
Me too.
I do enjoy each and every bit of my time here in Thailand.
May I ask you, Romeo?
Yes, please.
How do you find it different
Yeah.
teaching in Thailand to, say, Qatar or Sudan? How do you find the experience different?
It's different in terms of the freedom and the workload. Most of the time, I have been walking to my classrooms where I have the freedom to pick what I want to teach my students, get to assess their problems and their weaknesses, and set materials according to their needs. You know, different students have different needs. So when you just sitting down with them, you get to analyze them, then prepare materials based on that. You help them in an easy way compared to like when I was working in an international school, you're given a set curriculum where you have to teach it and beat the deadlines. So meaning if you have weak students, you really have minimal time to go down, get to assess their needs and help them. Also in Thailand, in terms of technology, it's not that bad. Like when it comes to our MEP classes, I find the internet being stable enough to help me deliver my lessons. Then the students also, it's like actually not some, all the students have mobile phones. So sometimes with the involvement of technology, it makes learning easier. The learners might not be able to understand some words, but through the use of technology and the translations and all that, it makes learning more fun. Then also when COVID came in, a lot of people took it as a big challenge and all that, but it has really boosted technology. Our learners can learn online, submit their homeworks in an easy way. So it made them like a computer savvy or computer tech.
Totally.
Yeah. So teaching in Thailand also has its own challenges like the language barrier compared to other countries where students study English when they are very young. So meaning it takes time in Thailand. If you really have to be a teacher in Thailand, then you need a lot of patience space in Thailand. Otherwise you can be emotional and end up quarreling, or maybe you might think you're not a good teacher, that why are the students not understanding what I'm teaching? Just basic facts like greetings, words to use when you go out shopping. To them, they are getting to learn the language, so it needs some patience. Yes, and they all say patience pays.
Patience pays.
Yeah.
And I must say, the whole COVID situation, it's really pushed me to be a more effective teacher, I feel, because I feel like the kids, you know, they're at home for 1 year, and you know, obviously that creates loneliness in some youngsters. And I think seeing them back at school now, it's really brought out a motivation in me to try my best for their development. I think it's so great they can see their friends again, and they can get in a good learning environment. And I feel like it's really made us realise, don't take anything for granted.
Yeah. Whenever you see students around, jumping around, like creating a hard time for you, you need to be grateful for that, because we really miss them a lot. And you can see most of them are happy being back to school, to see their friends, their teachers, and their motivation to learn. So, Miles, maybe I have one last question for you. There are a lot of people out there who are planning to relocate to Thailand, maybe to come and pay Thailand a visit. Maybe some are planning to come and work as teachers, or even maybe in different fields. Others maybe to come and link up with their online girlfriends and all that. What could be your advice to them? Like if somebody is planning to come to Thailand, is it all about the fun or maybe money?
So if you are looking for a new challenge and a new direction in life, I 100% would recommend Thailand. It will open your perceptions and give you a broader view on the world and life itself. I mean, I've learned so much the last few years, whether it be socializing with different cultures, spiritually learning about Buddhism, and visiting temples. And Romeo, to answer your question, is it about fun or money?
Yeah.
I think don't come to Thailand with an attitude of you just want to have fun every day. At the end of the day, it is fun. Working is also fun, but thinking realistically, you're going to have to work, you're going to have to make money, and obviously you have to make sacrifices to make money. But yeah, I think if you're responsible and you can balance yourself between work and having fun, yeah, 100% Thailand is for you, and I think you could create a life here. And my final message to everyone is just do it. Don't sit there and waste your whole life thinking, what if? Take that risk, take that chance, and I don't think you will regret it.
So you got it, guys. Miles here is a true inspiration to you and to all of us out here that everything is possible. So follow your dreams, because you don't know about tomorrow. Life is so short. Go out, have fun, and be you. Otherwise, it was nice meeting you, man. Thank you, and take care of yourself.
You too, Romeo. It's been a pleasure.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.